Okay, so we have Caleb Cook Band here in the alley of the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl is in Urbana, Illinois, and it is where this band.
I'm Caleb Cook. I play guitar, sing, write songs, and try to keep these two in line.
I'm Norm Miles. I'm the drummer of the group. I sing backup vocals. I wish I could sing lead vocals, but I can't.
He tries.
I try though.
My name's Andrew Kaufman. I'm the bassist, backup vocals.
Okay, so when did you get your start here at the Rose Bowl? When was that? How long ago was that?
I was 21, so about 10 years ago, I came in here for a gig. Didn't really have a demo CD, didn't have anything, but Steve just gave me a chance, and so I started playing every Thursday night. I didn't realize I was going to be playing every Thursday. I signed up for one gig, and the bartender said, "I'll see you next week," so I just kept coming back, and they never told me to leave, so. So, and then I met these guys. I met Andrew at Parkland. We were in the music program together over there. And I met Norm through a mutual friend, and we had another band going called the Hot Slugs. It just got so hot that it fizzled out, I guess.
And who was in that band?
Dave Hardy.
So let's talk about your originals.
Okay. So we've got a bunch of new ones. We've been writing
A lot.
We've probably got 9 or 10 new originals, I think, just in this last year. So 2014, been writing. I don't know particularly why I write much more, but it's probably because Norm's up my ass most of the time to write all the time. So.
Song a week, I tell them.
Yeah. So, a lot of writing, a lot of new songs, of all sorts of genres too. It's hard for me to stay with the theme. Like I want to be like a kind of a country band or kind of a rock band, but last week I wrote a reggae song for whatever reason.
See, that's what I was going to ask you next. Is like your genre is
I don't know.
assumed country.
I grew up on country, and I would say country's definitely at my roots. Really into jazz stuff too, and like country jazz, like a western swing kind of thing. Like rock, like the Beatles and the Stones and all that stuff too. So I don't know. I just write a little bit of everything.
So when did you, Caleb, begin like music? I mean, when did you find out that was your passion?
I was like in love with guitars when I was like 3, I think. I remember because my dad played guitars and I was always like, and I vaguely remember any of this. I was 3 years old, so I don't remember much. But from what my parents told me and seeing pictures, I always had like guitars and followed my dad around with guitars. I didn't really start playing until I was about 11. So I've been playing guitar about 20 years, and I've always sang. I've just always loved to sing and just did it. And never really started writing though until I was probably in my 20s, and now it's what I do.
Yeah. So what about you, Andrew?
Me? Well, I was about 14, 15 years old and just about ready to go into high school, and a friend of mine had a guitar and approached me and asked me if I wanted to be a bass player for him, and I said sure, so I picked up a bass, a little 4-string jazz electric bass, and it just kind of took off from there. I joined the high school band, went to Parkland after high school, and then pursued a degree in music business down in SIU in Carbondale. Started playing some upright bass, came back, got playing with Caleb again.
And there you are.
Yeah.
And there you are. And what about you, Norm?
When I was about 6, my brothers were already jazz musicians in New York City, and they had a quintet that used to rehearse in my house. So it was your typical jazz quintet. One brother played piano, the other was a trumpet player, and then it was a alto, tenor, sax player, and a drummer and a bass player. So me being 6 years old, what did I like? The drums. So I started taking formal lessons at about 8, and then around 10 years old, I was good enough to replace the drummer who went to Columbia University and left the music scene. So I've been playing for a long time. I took lessons formally from 8 to 18 until I went away to college. I studied jazz and classical percussion and vibraphones, marimbas, all that stuff. I'll tell you a story. So it's my favorite story about regret. So I'm about 9, and my brothers say, go over to Donnie Miller's house, who I lived in the South Bronx, and Donnie lived on Stratford Avenue, about 6 blocks from where we lived. And Donnie was the sax player. He was a real beatnik type. Matter of fact, he wound up playing with Maynard Ferguson and Stan Kenton Band and all that kind of stuff. He never went to college and just did it full time. So I ran over there to get some lead sheets from my brothers, and Donnie said, Norm, good to see you. You want to try something? I said, sure. So he opened up a flute case. He put the flute together, and he said, you put your fingers like this, and you put your mouth across it, and you blow. And I blew this beautiful tone. And Donnie said, man, you got perfect embouchure for flute. If you want, I'll teach you to play jazz flute. And I looked at him, I said, nah, I want to be the drummer. So for the rest of my life, all I can think about is carrying all this stuff, as opposed to open up a case this big, and you go like this, and you go like this, and there you go, you wail. So that's the, I guess I really wanted to be a drummer.
Such as it is.
You're way cooler as a drummer than that.
I don't know.
I give you shit now, but if you played the flute, I would give you serious shit.
Yeah, but couldn't you see me like as Jethro Tull with all his hair all over the place and looking?
So a few of your, so you do covers, obviously, but this August 16th event here at the Rose Bowl is going to be about your originals. Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit, just a little bit about where those songs came from.
Some small area.
Yeah, very small area. Pineal gland.
I don't know. It's hard to say because I write from some like different places all the time. So I don't know if there's like a set formula. Sometimes I'll write a song all at once. Like I'll just sit down and I just have the entire thing, and it depends on like how flowy or catchy the like. If you get a good melody in your head, that's probably where it all starts. With me is hearing a da 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 da. You know, I'm always thinking melody. Even when I play guitar, or I'm thinking of a rhythm part, I'm hearing a melody, and then the words kind of just fall into place. And sometimes.
So with you, it starts with the melody.
Yeah, definitely. And then hopefully I think of something to talk about after I get the melody, which sometimes I do, and then sometimes it just kind of goes in different places, and I don't know. Some of the songs have a real story, and then I would say some of the songs are more about like an artistic approach. You know, like certain phrases just sound cool. You know, it doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. Who gives a you know? It might not make sense. But it sounds cool, you know, just like art. Like, what is a picture of? You know, I don't know, you know.
But it looks good.
It looks neat, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Whether it's just a bunch of shapes or, you know, so certain phrases just like have a flow that I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. So, especially if you put a cool melody to it. So, and then like certain songs, I just recently wrote a song, you know, I just bought a house a few months ago, this old 100-year-old house that has been like a ongoing project. So, I found a lot of motivation for things to talk about in that. So, you know, so I don't think there's a set formula for writing that for me anyways. And if there is, it's hard, I can't stick to it, so.
I'm beyond excited to be a part of this,
Yeah,
August
I just ask him
16th.
when he writes a song, I'm kind of pushing him because I've been around a long time. These guys are younger and I'm not. And so I've seen talent. He has a lot of talent. For songwriting and for playing and for stage presence and all those things you're talking about. So I push him to write the songs, and all I ask from him is whatever he does, it's honest. That he's not trying to write some song because I have to write a song, but there's like some honesty to it, either in the words or in because it's cool and it has a good feeling, but it's something real. So from that, and for me, playing with it, it'll come out honest because it's something that he wants to do, as opposed to there's a lot of guys and some great songwriters, they can just knock out songs, especially a lot of people that write for other people, and they're just knocking out these songs because they have it's a craft. So I want it to be less a craft and more of an art for him. Now, I try to write songs and he looks at them and he says it's too much like poetry, and it's interesting because I studied poetry when I was a kid, so I never studied I never really listened to the words that much when I was a kid. It was always about the music and letting other people sing it. And that's to my detriment, I think. I never really learned how to write songs. And he's been listening to the words all his life, and so it comes. In terms of what we play, what I like, what we select, and what he's selecting, actually, he selects the tunes, is he's selecting things like Hank Williams and George Jones and those people, because, and Johnny Cash, etc., because there's real art and sincerity in that music. Merle Haggard, and I think that you learn from that level of people, and then you want to emulate that level of craft, of art. So I think it's great that he wants to go in that direction.
Well, I think that should probably complete this. I think that's very well said.
Thank you very much, Terry, for having us and doing this for us.
Oh, that one's still on, whether that one's on, it's all on.
Yeah.
Let me just say one more thing. Dave Hardy, who was the keyboard player for Hot Slugs, and is still our friend, and is just busy playing with several other bands, comes over our house every week, and we work on recordings and also work on original music. And he will be doing the live recording, and there may be some surprises where he may play on a few tunes. And I'd like to thank him for continuing to be part of the group. And I want everybody to know that he's also fully involved in supporting what we do.
Okay. So, we'll see you guys August 16th, live recording. I've not known any other band to do that, so it's going to be very exciting here at the Rose Bowl. What time?
Home of country music, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, and we'll probably do the first set of other people's music to warm up, and then the second set will be
I don't know. We'll see how we feel.
Yeah, who knows? Better show
might just come running
show
up
up on
again.
time.